Hi, welcome to Sacred Enzyme. I'm Stacy. I hope you're doing well today. So we're doing part 2 of our Venus series because it ended up being so much information I had to break it apart. So we're going to talk this time around about the advanced Venus geometry and how it's in architecture all over the world. It's in star forts and other things, and it's the 13th octave, guys. So Earth is imitating heaven, like they all say, as above, so below. But does anybody really know what that means? Really? In the first Venus episode, we talked about how Venus draws a 5-petaled rose in our sky every 8 years. It's 5 points, 5 petals, 5 gates, 5 harmonic jumps, guys. This is Mother's signature. But here's the secret. The ancients built entire cities using this Venus code geometry, this Venus rose geometry, and they carved it all over the place. We've got star forts, we've got citadels, it's in the city plans, they put it in the causeways, waterways, there's pentagon buildings, cathedral layouts, temples, obelisks, and even in the crop patterns. They were encoding the 5, the octave jump, the golden ratio, just like I'm doing in my community garden. We're planting all of our trees in the golden ratio. We're encoding Venus into our community garden, guys. This is how civilizations prepared for the 13th archetype. So when you draw a pentagon inside of a circle, you know, like when they're doing these rituals and stuff, you automatically create the 5 ratio. 1.618, the golden number. The logarithmic spiral, the growth pattern of nature, the architect of galaxies, and it's the blueprint behind our DNA, guys. This is why 5 is a living number. Venus's rose literally imprints this ratio onto Earth. As Venus traces the rose above, we trace the rose below. This is why star forts are pentagonal. City layouts follow radial spirals. Cathedral windows use rose patterns. The Templar cross is a pentagon fold. The Star of Bethlehem is a Venus symbol. The City of God is a 144,000 coded Venus grid. The 5 is the bridge from 144 to 144,000. The octave jump. Then we go the extra mile. Star forts are Venus temples. Star fort follows 5-point geometry, pentagonal bastions, Venusian radical symmetry, golden ratio angles, fractal spirals, and water radiant circuitry. They're the Earth's antenna. Star forts are in Italy, Netherlands, France, Spain, Portugal, Russia, India, North Africa, North America, South America, the Caribbean. They're everywhere. They all follow the same Venus pentacle geometry. This is no coincidence, guys. These were Venus frequency generators. Why do you think they took and converted them all into places where they were doing war? They wanted to destroy the heart. They wanted to take away the love and put in violence. It's like God particles, guys. I've explained how these ley lines where they connect, where they oversect, devil's crossroads. You know how they used to say devil's crossroads? There's a reason they always talk about crossing places, because these create energy. And when you have overlapping ley lines, you have stacked God particles. It's the same type of concept. It's all coding. It's designed to amplify and magnify a certain code. So these were Venusian frequency generators. They were designed to stabilize the 364-day clock of mothers and to amplify this 144 grid so we could get out of it. Prepare us for the 13th octave. Boy, I tell you, my phone just ran off the hook today. Cities like Alexandria, Venice, Constantinople, Washington, D.C., St. Augustine, Florida, Savannah, Georgia, Paris, Amsterdam, Mexico City, Cusco, St. Petersburg, they all contain golden ratio street angles, pentagonal plazas, radial sun-star layouts, Venus cross-axis, 5-petal rose windows, and spiral alignments with solstice gates because they were built on ancient Venusian nodes, guys. This is exactly why we've been talking about Bach Tower, St. Augustine, Coral Castle, Daytona Beach, where the Golden Apple Grove was. And by the way, the Golden Apple is a quince. Lake Wales Ridge, the 28 to 31 parallel, old world buildings, our brick chronicles, our red brick diaries. These are Venusian grid sites, guys. We're literally sitting on top of one right here, right now. So how does the Venus in the 13th octave break the wheel? Well, the 12-month solar calendar traps us in the father grid, guys. We've been trapped in the father grid, okay? It's 12 by 12, 144. But with Venus, through the 5, it breaks the symmetry, guys. 5 creates pi. 5 creates pi. 5 creates the spiral. The spiral creates expansion. Expansion creates octave shifts, guys. This is why Mother's calendar is 13 moons. 1, the center, the axis, the mother. This is why the Venus cycle, 5 plus 8, because Earth is 8, equals 13. We have to bring the twins, right? It's about merging duality. It's about moving into the octave. It's about doing everything with the heart space. Venus is the heart space. This is why my grandmother is on Venus working in that nursery. It's because she told me that there were so many babies and children that she was taking care of, that she's taking care of the children. And I was like, that totally makes sense that she would be on Venus. She said that when children die in traumatic ways and their soul needs they need nurturing and bringing everything back together in a healthy way so they can reincarnate. They can incarnate again and finish their purpose. So they do that on Venus in a higher frequency space. I think she's in the 7th dimensional space on Venus, is the way that I understand it from her. And I feel like I'm from Venus too. This is why I link that these backgrounds, this primordial current comes out of Venus. So this is why the Venus cycles 5 plus 8 equals 13 is the key to jump into the next ring. So our next movement is 12, 5, 13. 5 is the bridge. Venus is the bridge. The mother lineage is the bridge. And this is why star forts with 5 were placed on power nodes 12 to open the octave of 13, guys. So star forts have moat shaped like golden spirals, 5-point energy capture systems, resonant walls angled at phi, underground chambers aligned with Venus rising, and cathedral rose windows facing Venus gates. Just like the Sphinx. Let's not forget, I've said before, the Sphinx is the depiction of Mother in her wolf form. That's a wolf body, canine body, female head. That's the primordial Mother. She goes east to west on the Giza Plateau. That's her. But if you want to look at geometry, where the Anubis is the most special place right there. Most special place, because that's close to 28 and 13. So they weren't forts, they were star temples, resonance amplifiers, time stabilizers, grid anchors, and water harmonizers. Remember how we've talked about having to work with water? We have to go back to working with water, guys. It is so important. I'm working with water in another timeline right now, and I'm building these huge water filtration systems. These huge, massive pumps. I mean, they're huge. They got pipes on them that look like the stacks on a semi-truck. But I think that they're brass. They're either copper or brass. I'm not sure which one, but they're this big around, and they're enormous. So I know that getting the water right is imperative. So it created a stable harmonic field so civilization could operate inside of this Venus frequency, guys. Rome eventually militarized all of them. But they began as Mother's temples. So the pentagram is not evil. That is a medieval, get it? Medieval smear. Originally, it was the sign of Anna. I kept getting Anna. When I first started really getting into this work, I kept getting Anna, Zoe, Eve. I mean, I kept getting Veronica. I kept getting all these names that were like divine mother names. I didn't know that, that Mother went by a million different names, but it's just basically saying, hey, that's you. That's you. That's your archetype. That's what you're embodying. That's your coding. So, you know, originally it was the seal of Aphrodite. And, you know, right now they're going into this thing where the Leviathan, they're trying to bring in the artificial matrix, Apollo, Apollyon. But we have to go back to the original way. Not no AI loop of Apollyon and the future of purgatory hell on earth. No, 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 we're not living that way. It was the seal of Aphrodite. It was the sigil of Astarte. It was the emblem of Ishtar. It was the mark of Mary's Immaculate Heart. It was the geometry of the rose. It was Venus. Every culture used the 5-point star to represent the feminine cosmological code. It's the one that restores the world during the shift cycle. This is why the 5 to 3 geometry always belonged to the priestesses, the water bearers, and the matrilineal wolf clans, guys. So when you overlay star forts, pyramids, dolmens, stone circles, Venus temples, and old world cities onto the planetary grid, you're going to find that they align to the 5, 8, and 13 harmonics of Phi. Same Venus rhythm. It's the cosmic clock the mother left behind for us. And this is why we're all waking up, guys, because we're starting to see, we're starting to understand the symbols. The stuff is downloading in our brains, right? We're getting the downloads. We're unscrambling the symbols, the geometry, the old words, all of the fire letters, all of these things. We've been working on this stuff for a while because we've been waking up for a long time. So this is why Florida's Ridge is waking up and people are remembering these priestess lineages. But the unfortunate problem is that they have put so many programs on a lot of the people. Everything that they think that has to do with priestess work, they think it has to do with sacrifice and all kind of stuff, you know, and getting blood and all of these things. That's not what it's about, guys. It was not what it was about. The priestess lineages, they were midwives to the world. They midwifed the seeds. They midwifed the water. They midwifed the babies. They midwifed the gardens. They midwifed everything that had to do with growing, life, healing, nurturing. That's what it was. That's what it was. Star forts are activating online, guys. The wolf archetype is rising. The turtle calendar is resurfacing. That old turtle's coming up, guys. Just like Atlas holding the world on his back. Well, Venus is brightening. And the primordial mother, she's returning. Yeah, the world is changing cycles, guys. So we're going to go into a part 3, and we're going to start studying the geometry. We're going to look at the Venus-Egypt connection. We're going to look at the Templar Rose line, the Venus transit of the 1518, and the global reset, why the old world was abandoned, the star fort energetics and how they function, the 13th octave activation points, the serpent Venusian harmonics, the phoenix, wolf, leviathan, planetary initiation, and why the mother returns through the north. So this is probably going to be one of the most profound video series that we have ever done because this is really unlocking a lot of stuff. So with that, I hope that you've been able to stay patient with me as I'm putting all this stuff out and bearing with me, but I promise that we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. So with that, when you come and find me, I'll be here because we're living in the past, present, and the future, all at the same time. I tell you to get outside, but if you're living where I'm at or around kind of place I am in Florida, it's raining today and it's starting to get cold. So what turned into a dog play session turned into the rain coming down, and I don't want to be outside anymore. So with that, I hope to catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos. Thanks for watching Sacred Enzyme. Bye-bye.